We are going to have a debate on the legal issues that arose out of the Comey hearings in a few moments. But first, I want to bring in James Woolsey to talk about what he heard and saw. Woolsey was CIA director under President Bill Clinton. More recently, he was a senior advisor on national security to Donald Trump's campaign and transition. He quit the transition team in early January. James Woolsey joins me now here in New York. Jim, what was your reaction to James Comey's testimony?
I found it worrisome because we kind of know how to argue with one another in Madison's structure in this country, with the legislature going one way and the Congress and the White House going another, and battles. It's what we do, and Madison planned it that way. We haven't had any dictatorships, and that was the purpose. But it works partly because most Americans, even if they did not support the president in an election, the person who won, they still have a certain allegiance to the presidency, and the president symbolizes the country and so forth. And that's not really functioning that way here. We have...
You saw that in Comey's testimony. How?
Well, I find it amazing that he would take detailed notes of a meeting with the president and then leak them to a friend who's at I think, Columbia Law School, and then have them give them to the press.
But let me just interrupt you, because
amazing.
He insists that the word, I think by implication, the word leak is not appropriate. He was a private citizen. These were, let me present his argument. He was a private citizen. These were notes recollecting his conversation with the president. They were not classified. A private citizen is allowed to share his notes, you know, in a conversation with any government official, with a friend, with the press. That's leaking. Involves disclosing classified government information in an unauthorized way, as you well know, having been the director of the CIA.
Not all leaks have to be classified. There are a number of things that are extremely sensitive without meeting the technical requirements for classification. And I just found it stunning that he would, I think, give up the secrecy of a conversation with the President of the United States. I've worked for 4 presidents in different capacities, and not everything you talk to them about is classified. But I think that that really symbolizes to me where we've come in this battle that is internal to one of the branches. It's not a Madisonian struggle between, but inside the executive branch.
Couldn't somebody say, well, Donald Trump is supposed to be this great leader. Why can't he control his own executive branch?
Well, I think in part what's happened is that people who opposed him and who opposed his general approach to things, and some people don't oppose his policies as much as they oppose his personality, has created a situation where we are not focusing on the things that we have to focus on. Take Russia, for example. We have a situation where Russia is never not interfering with our elections and with the elections of other democratic states. They call it disinformation.
But then didn't it strike you, Jim, as odd? I agree with you. I thought the most interesting testimony that Comey gave was when he was asked, do you have any doubt that Russia was involved in interfering in the election? He said none, and said they did it with purpose, they did it with sophistication, they did it with overwhelming technical effort. They will be back. They are coming after America.
Yes.
Now, Comey had 9 meetings with Donald Trump. He had only 2 with President Obama in all the years that Obama was president. In those 9 meetings in the first 100 days, he was asked, did Trump ever ask him about Russia and the Russian interference? And he said no. Isn't that odd?
Well, maybe he didn't have any precise questions on what was in front of him right at that time, but it's certainly something that we have to get our hands on, and we have to do it now, because the next time the Russians will try to interfere with our elections is a year and a half from now. We are going to lose our ability to elect our leaders if we don't understand this and deal with it.
Very quickly, we have 30 seconds. What would you do about this problem of leaking and things? Is there some
We have to get the executive branch, and particularly the intelligence community and the law enforcement community, pulled together, working together, and behind the president in pulling things into a working order. We don't have that now, and I think some elements of both the intelligence community and certainly the law enforcement community have veered off, looking into their own interests and not looking into the interests of the country. This has to get repaired, and repaired rather quickly.
Former Director of CIA, James Comey. Jim Woolsey.